Hey everybody, this is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. And today I want to talk a little bit about the Gulf of Tonkin. Is that what we're looking at repeated right now? Up on the screen you see from the original back in the Vietnam days. But what I'm talking about now is the firing from Yemen on a Navy ship twice. And is this being used as a premise to go to war against Russia? And that's my concern. And you may be thinking, wait, that doesn't happen, but it does happen. If you follow the politics and the international news throughout, you'll find that happens. There's no proof that those missiles were being fired from the Houthis, but the United States is saying we're going. Just like there's no proof that Russia hacked the DNC, but yet now we want to ramp it up to a cyber attack. So we got this missile situation. And the Navy ships come under fire. They're saying from Houthi rebel held territory. And so we essentially entered the war in Yemen. We went over, we bombed some radar sites. We knocked them out, and we hit some other targets. And we are believed that to have fired first because we have no proof that the Houthis fired upon us. The United States is saying, oh yeah, they're missiles that were given to them from Iran. But we have no proof. Gulf of Tonkin. Think about it. In response to this escalation, Iran's deployed a military vessel over there. I think Russia's got an aircraft carrier moving over there. And while that may be the crux of this narrative that's being presented by the United States government, by corporate major media, the propagandists, the worst of them all, what's even more ominous is the secondary developments that should be considered here. And it's just like Syria and the East and the South China Sea. Everything points back to Russia for some oddball reason, but we have not seen specific proof. Are we to just blindly believe our government? I mean, we're seeing right now from the WikiLeaks that you cannot blindly just sit there and believe our government. You know, Yemen, they got their Shia Houthis there. They took over this city. They're backed essentially by Iran. And they've been long suspected by Washington to be receiving direct support from the Iranian government. Now, Iran denies this, but it's common knowledge out there. Now, Saudi Arabia, they've come into the picture. They've been bombing the hell out of Yemen and their civilians and the hospitals, just like we have. They have imposed a naval and air and land blockade over there all around Yemen. The people are starving there. No food. Impoverished. This nation they're really going through hell there in Yemen. And we're starting to see signs of mass starvation over there. Without a guarantee of some type of supplies coming in, some type of food, there's going to be made even more issues over there. And there's blockades there because they're concerned. We don't want arms going there. We don't want people to get weapons to haphazardly fire on our ships. And I get that, and I understand that. You know, our media has been quick to pounce on the American claims as valid before the Department of Defense can even get out there and conclude their investigation. This investigation has not been concluded, folks. It's just hearsay. Might it be accurate? It might, but until we know, we shouldn't be getting ourselves into the Yemen war. And for the United States to employ direct military force against some conflict-embroiled sovereign nation over some incident still under investigation, not yet, it's unproven, indisputable facts. There's none. We haven't seen them. And this is reminiscent of the vehicle, the machine it took to embroil us into this Vietnam War that you're seeing up there, the Gulf of Tonkin. That whole incident dragged us right into the Vietnam War. And in case this moved, you could even prove that arrogant flub of enormous proportions happened in this case. Yemen itself is not imperative to the United States. There's virtually no importance there to the United States at all. You know, except maybe outside the waters off its coast. As a proxy ally, Russia's regional consequences matter a great deal there, folks. They matter a great deal. Now, should the United States go in there, wage war in Yemen directly? You know, we got, as I said, Iran's moving their ships off there. They're deploying them. This is certainly, most certainly, an opportune time, the chance that Iran could come in there and defend their situation, their government that they are essentially fighting the proxy war through militarily. There's a substantial chance of that. We've already seen the provocations from the Iranians out there. And although the U.S. response has ostensibly been measured and limited, they're cautioned. Many analysts are out there and they're cautioning against direct military action, as I would. Any Iranian engagement with the United States could provide their ally, their strong ally, Russia, if not even China, to get involved in this field of engagement. And, you know, Russia's been out there. They've been playing this chess game with the United States, and they've been doing this throughout the Middle East. They've been amassing a growing number of allies in the process, if anybody's even noticed. But Washington's still out there. They're touting Russia as one of its #1 top dog enemies, officially blaming them for the hack at the DNC without any proof. The U.S. alliance with human rights criminals, coalition leader Saudi Arabia, has provided ample motivation, folks, for nations to either officially align with Russia or at least withdraw their support from us. Even the highly politicized United Nations has condemned the Saudis and what they've been doing in Yemen. There's the proxy war in Syria. Their U.S.-backed actions in Syria. And so the UN is even dialing down support for us. And so it's feasible that Putin's weariness with Russian aggression, that whole narrative, coupled with the United States essentially striking forces that are aligned with their ally, Iran, possibly has set into motion some events that are irreversible. You know, like I said, you got China and Russia vessels off there in the same waters off the Yemen coast. It would seem possible that Russia intends to simply quash the U.S. in its what's perceived as arrogant, aggressive tactics. And for all of its intent and purposes, the Pentagon has employed an unfounded premise to act militarily against Iran, giving Putin every reason to come to their defense, giving Putin every reason to step up and start World War III. That's why you're hearing a lot of rhetoric out there. And whether or not the United States has piled the last straw on the camel's back that's going to break it will be decided in the coming days, the coming months. I just posted something where their top leaders in Russia said war could come before the elections with the United States. And so this has to be very concerning. And, you know, I understand that you got analysts out there, partisan to the American foreign policy, and they've repeatedly claimed that Russia lacks the military might necessary to wage an all-out endeavor against us, against the European Union. Not only are they underestimating Russia's capability, but they plainly are ignoring the heft of the military might of the alliance Putin has fomented with Iran, China, even the Philippines now. The Philippines don't want to be with us. They want to be with China. I just put out a story today about it. I mean, think about it, folks. You should be concerned. And also remember how they underestimated ISIS, the JV team. Is this the same situation here in Russia? You know, at this point, it's entirely possible that the U.S. has basically served up the ultimate check. And it's whether or not Russia will act with a nuclear checkmate that a lot of people are concerned they're beginning to prepare for. They just evacuated 40 million people out of their cities to see if they could handle it. They're telling their people prepare for nuclear war. They're telling all their top leaders, come back with your family to Russia, the motherland. Yet major media is not saying any of this. These are all worrisome actions. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.